Hi there, this is Elisa with knittingfairy.com, and our subject today is gauge. It is a thing that I think terrifies a lot of people and probably keeps people from ever attempting to knit a sweater. And gauge is not as difficult as we have all been led to believe. This swatch is 40 stitches by 44 rows. There is no magic in that number. I wanted it to be bigger than 4 stitches, or 4 inches wide by 4 inches tall. That's it. And 40 is an even number. It is easy for me to remember. And so therefore 40 is usually my go-to number. Sometimes I'll pick 30 if I'm using a bigger gauge, but this is actually a DK to worsted weight yarn. And I figured 40 is just plenty. You can use all the gizmos in the world, folks, but ye olde tape measure is my favorite. I have 40 stitches across my swatch, and when I roll my edges out, because this is stockinette and it likes to roll, my swatch measures out at 8.5 inches. So I would take, here, let me bring you my calculator. Isn't that nice? Look, my calculator. 40 stitches, the number of stitches I cast on, divided by the width, 8.5 inches. And what I come up with is 4.705, whatever. If I were guessing my gauge, or if I were calculating my gauge, I would say this is 4.7. If I were going for 4 3/4 stitches to the inch, I would probably call this close enough for government work, or I might go up 1 needle size, but likely that's going to bump me much closer to 4.5 than I want to be. Usually you can figure a 1/4 of a stitch to the inch difference per needle size. So if I wanted this to be bigger stitches, I would use bigger needles and there would be fewer stitches to the inch. If I wanted it to be a smaller gauge, I would use smaller needles and there would be more stitches to the inch. So taking this up 1 needle size would probably put me closer to 4.5 stitches to the inch than 5 stitches to the inch. Height-wise, I have 44 rows and it is 6 inches wide, and I have placed the little red lines right at the cast on and the bind off. And again, then I would take the trusty calculator and I would say 44 divided by 6. When my daughter finishes texting me, we would see that 7.33333 rows to the inch. My swatch is 4.7 stitches to the inch, 7.33 rows to the inch. I didn't use any fancy tools. I didn't have to do anything more difficult than balancing my checkbook to figure it out. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful to you. Please follow me on Instagram or Twitter, Patreon, any of the other places that I happen to be. They're all listed here. Thank you for joining me. Have a great day.